So I'm here with my ENFP best friend, Crystal.
Can you tell already? Oh my god.
We should just okay, so basically this video is going to be about how I made another one that was talking about the difference, or why P and J things are so problematic. So we're going to talk to you about the different
kinds of judgers and perceivers.
Yeah. But now that you're on here, it makes me want to do a video about ENFP, ENFJ differences. But that'll be a future video.
Yeah, that one's going to take a lot longer.
But just kind of notice, that we're different as you're watching the video.
But yeah, we initially, so basically we refer to ENFJs, ENTJs, ESTJs, ESFJs as EJs, and there's IPs, IJs, and EPs.
Yeah, and there's so many different ways that you can lump up people. As I said before, it's some people, when they learn about Myers-Briggs, they're 16 types, but there's way more different types of people. But then, I start to realize I act like ENTJs and ENFPs in different ways because there's, the temperaments. There's so many ways you could divide. This is just another one of those ways.
But yeah, essentially, I think it's interesting that for IJs, so INTJs, ISTJs, INFJs, and ISFJs, even though they're judgers, according to MBTI,
they judge second. Their ox function is judging.
Their first function, their dom function, is perceiving. They perceive through SI or perceive through NI. And this makes them, honestly, super different than an EJ who judges first with FE or TE, but at the same time, they aren't like me, a perceiver first who uses NE and SE. It's the way that they just structure their life, but what they struggle with is just so different than an EP and EJ.
Who do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about the extroverts since we are those things?
Yeah. Okay, I also want to kind of talk about how in socionics, if any of you out there are interested in socionics, they call INTJs, for example, INTPs because they go by how they perceive first. And I've always thought that was really interesting. But
because technically IPs are really organized people, and
really
IJs really suspend their judgments on things, even though they're judgers.
Yes, because they're Js. They have TE or FE in their first two functions.
IJs will tell you maybe what their judgment is.
Yeah,
IP will just live by this sort of system that they won't tell you about it. But they'll be really
TE and FE automatically makes them organize things, but they organize them second technically. So how they look at the world, they still are, I guess, perceiving first, and they have more questions, and they're more unsure of reality. They're intuitive.
I'm just gonna talk about EJs. One, because I am an EJ, and two, because EJs really like to honestly, if you'd agree, I think EJs are the hardest type to miss.
Yeah,
these are the natural leaders. They're kind of in your face. They use either FE or TE predominantly, so they're always telling you what they think, how they feel, whatever. And what I find really interesting about this is that ESTJs have completely no functions the same as me at all. Same with ENTJ, ESFJs. They think that they're way different. A lot of times we clash, but really we all kind of clash because we all want to be in charge. But I don't know. EJs, they will just. Do you have anything to add?
They'll just jump right in, barrel in. If you ask a stupid question, they'll be that's stupid. Depending on if you're FE or TE. FE will be with people, no, people wouldn't do that. Or TE, no, that doesn't make sense.
Oh, I remember I was thinking later, I was trying to give examples. I was talking to her about how to appeal, how to use more SI examples. Okay, ESTJs will be hey, give me the remote. They'll just do that.
It's a command, TE. Yes.
They just command. And I'll be are you listening to what I'm saying? Is there even a point in talking to you if you're not listening?
And their dom function just automatically is organized.
Yeah, and then ESFJs will be why didn't you text me back? I thought you liked me. Which, come on.
It's
then what did ENTJs do? ENTJs are
that's stupid.
No, they don't do that.
They don't do that.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of examples. They'll use TE. They'll be that's not working. Or something
What I think is interesting is, EJs, they do not have any judging blind spots at all.
But because if you're unfamiliar with blind spot theory, I'm gonna make a video about this sometime. But basically, all of our functions are arranged in order. Most of you are probably familiar with the top four. There's the dom, ox, tertiary, and then inferior. But then there's the reverse of that. For me, my fifth function is FI, then NE, then SI, then TE.
Yeah,
so TE is my 8th function.
The
it's
function
a role function.
The function that goes below your 3rd function, your 7th function.
Yeah, is your blind spot.
Yes, so it's like
my SI is terrible. Like,
but yeah, like for EJs, they only have SI or NI as their blind spots, so they are only missing a part of their perception. But man, they have all of the 4 judging functions like in their stack. So
we
you're
are
never
both,
gonna miss your judgment.
We're all missing our internal judgments, and so when we are working with the external world, we have every way of judging, and then we have
internal perception.
It's like when we are reacting to the external world, we're able to see it from different angles.
Yeah, but you're gonna like miss something.
Because my NE and SE aren't like that terrible.
Yeah. But see, for IJs are missing either FE or TE, which is weird because they're
think we're done talking about EJs?
Yes.
Oh, I just am saying that me as a J, you might not think I'm that organized, but I want my videos to be like EJ, move on, IJ, move on.
I guess it's
so.
Like
I think that you're trying to you're kind of intermingling them.
Yeah,
which is fine, but it's this is kind of wanting I'm just telling you guys my process. It's no secret, but anyways, it's if you want people to watch the whole video, what if they're an IJ and they just are wanting to see when I'm going to talk about the IJ, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah. I mean,
anyways,
I guess I just intermingle all of them because I'm assuming.
Because
this is a video about the whole thing in general. We could go more specific, use more examples, and come up with more structured ways people work, but I think it's
but hopefully this is interesting.
Yes.
So IJs aren't going to just be straight up. They aren't going to interact with the external world as forcefully.
They really don't. They're just kind of these people that are very organized, but keep to themselves. It's kind of weird, to be honest. But it's whenever
IJs kind of don't know what to expect because their FE or TE is not that great. Mm-hmm. Well, it's great, but they aren't as confident since it's their aux function.
Yeah, and they have a blind spot with the other one. They have a blind spot of FE or TE, but it's interesting because their introverted perceiving function, which is SI or NI, is somewhere in there. So they'll always kind of be able to remember things enough to have a judgment on them, but they don't have both of the judging functions in line. But they're J's, so that's weird.
And I think that EJs we learn by doing things, and IJs learn by observing, which is kind of a perceiver first or judger first thing. That the P's they also have that, but I think that for EJs it's get your hands dirty, see what works, see what the outcome is. Then move on. But IJs, I think, are really, really afraid of doing an outcome that's wrong, which is why they might seem really,
they're
really controlled people. They are Js. They might seem controlled because they don't want to actually mess up. They don't want to mess up the external
when it comes
environment.
to the external world, they're a little more tentative, but their internal world seems more organized, and they just seem to be people when they spend time alone because they're technically introverts on the MBTI spectrum. They just might be able to organize themselves better. I don't know. I'm not an IJ.
They really know about the external world. Not the external. Sorry, it's they know what they perceive. If it's a party, if someone invites them to a party, they'll kind of know what to expect.
Yeah, they'll kind
Does
of
that make sense?
Yeah, it's SI first will draw on previous parties.
Yeah, SI or NI. They'll know what to expect.
It,
whether it's a social FE sort of thing or a TE sort of business thing. They kind of know what to expect, but then they're afraid of putting themselves into that situation in case maybe they'll mess it up.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna move on.
But I think that EJs don't know as much what to expect, but are oh, if I have to mess it up in order to figure it out, then they will.
Yeah, they're good at flowing along, trusting they'll be on their feet. Mm-hmm. I feel I guess I'm
EPs.
trying to transition into EPs because I'm thinking of the perceiver first thing. For me as an EP, I'm going through life so fast sometimes that I don't take the time to even draw on what my internal judgment of that is. EPs, they're missing either TI or FI, so they're missing an internal judgment with a blind spot theory. But the thing is I guess as an extrovert,
which if anyone maybe I'll type something about blind spot things in the
because
I feel I hope this makes sense if you don't know much about blind spot theory, because what we're talking kind of a lot in these terms of they don't have, really we all use all the functions, but
it's some functions so subconscious.
Think of it as each function is a tool, and the top 4 are in your toolbox that you use all the time, and then the bottom 4 are in the garage somewhere, and your blind spot, you literally don't know where you left it.
Yeah,
everything else,
you
know that it's like, your eighth function is like, but it's all the way over there or something.
Yeah, it's like, I know, I just don't want to reach it. Yeah.
But your blind spot is like, So I literally don't know where did I leave the hammer, goddammit. Yeah. But anyways, EPs.
I guess we're EPs. We perceive everything in our environment to the point where it's like, maybe sometimes like overwhelming, which is why we might seem a little spacey at times. Like even an SE user, which I think of SE as more present than NE first, which is what I am.
I think IJs and EPs are both going to have the problem where they're afraid of messing up that external environment.
Yeah.
But
like ESPs are going to be like, ooh, NE, and NPs are going to be like, ugh, SE. It's like we like have a repulsion to that eighth function.
But I think that IJs might be like, oh no, what if I mess it up? Because if I do, I'm a bad person. But I think that EPs are better. EPs are better at going with it if they do mess up.
Yeah. Like I feel like I just like overthink and oversee like things a lot of the time, and we're to where like I just don't even know where to start acting.
Since EPs are extroverts, I think that by nature they're going to want to be in the external world more, so they like know how to deal with like if they accidentally mess up. Because I think that EPs, one of your strengths is that you're really, really good at dodging the bullets and like, or no, not really dodging the bullet, but you'll like get shot and then keep going or something.
Yeah, I feel like my problem is if I'm too afraid of having to dodge the bullet, I forget that I'm really good at rolling with things. Like if something comes up that like throws me off, I'm actually probably better than most people rolling with it. Just most people their strength is like avoiding it, and I like envy that. About
As an EJ, I'm not like good at rolling with things, which is why I plan so much, or I like at least in my mind. I think that TJs you'll see how they plan more, and SJs they will stick to a structure more. But like especially like ENFJs out of the EJs might seem like not as planned. But like
I think with people though you're very deliberate in certain regards. So it's like like with like sensory like kind of like logic like organizing your life, sure, but like I just feel like you have, from observing you have a system for how you deal with people, for how you encode how's this party gonna look, wait, well how will this action come off if I do this, or like what could that, like you're very good at doing that stuff. So I see the Janus of you all the time, don't worry. But okay, wait, and IPs. We should talk about IPs.
Wait, do you have any more to say about EPs?
Not right now. But like I think okay, my IP counterparts, like I have an INFP good friend, and I'm just like so hyper aware of like how her internal judgment, FI or TI, is all she sees. So basically, it's like
I feel like they literally are wearing this sort of lens where their TI or FI is coloring everything.
It makes them kind of seem kind of like simple sometimes, in my opinion. But that's just me being judgmental.
Like, okay, I'm just gonna say, I think IPs, you guys are the most selfish people. You also are my favorite people. You could say us EJs are the most pushy or the most demanding. Like, I'm sure you could say some terrible quality about each one. IPs are just really I mean, because, sorry, I know all the INFPs especially hate me right now. And you're like, but I'm such a good person. You are a good person. I love you.
She's going to qualify these, like, very generalized statements.
But, like, FI and TI, if that's how you see the world, that's a very subjective, like, both of those are subjective judging functions.
Yes, they are.
Like, let's say an ITP that is liberal is going to see all these people's opinions, and if it's not liberal, they're going to be like, ugh, and not even, like, think about what it could be. If you are, if you're an IFP, and you don't think if someone has different morals, like, whether you're are like pro-choice, and that's your moral, or you're pro-life, and that's your moral, you're not going to be able to, like, understand anything because you're just so like, I know I'm right, I know my moral is right.
We also need those people to be like resilient in our society. Like holy shit, it's like for an IP
because also you guys observe. Okay, IPs observe so much.
Yes,
they're probably
even though you're a second perceiver, like your NE and SE is second in your stack, you can like take in a lot of it because it's like an extroverted function. So it's like
I think that IPs. If you're listening and you think, oh, I'm stubborn, or it's like, I think a lot of times IPs are like, well, I only am stubborn because I know I'm right because it took me so long to get there. It's like such a long process that a lot of times you might be always right. I don't know.
I agree. I mean, I think that I'm like, as an NE Dom, I'm always like, possibilities everywhere, holy shit. And then
you never decide on one.
Yeah, no, my INFP friend is like, use your feelings. What do you want? Stop, like, being all over the place. Like, and I feel like, basically, EJs and IPs who use this judging function first are, like, very resilient people, in my opinion, because I just feel like EPs and IJs, we, like, as perceivers first, just, like,
EJs
get
might
confused.
think that
we don't show it all the time, like, intentionally,
Mm-hmm.
but man, we're just so confused because reality is so, like, subjective and changing all the time.
even ESPs, even though they aren't intuitive, they, like, still don't know. Like, I see, like, an ESP has described before that life seems like a tunnel. It's just like moment. That's it. But I was just gonna say real quick that EJs, we might think that we're resilient, but I don't think we are.
No. I think, but what I would really like from the community in general is for us to come up with a new system of some sort to differentiate these 4 types of perceivers and judgers, because perceivers and judgers makes it seem like it's a split dichotomy of J or P. It really shouldn't be that, because, man, like, I am not going to be able to 100% relate to a fellow P who is an IP who uses FI and TI first. Man, you're so different than me. And same with, like, an IJ. They're just so rigid, too, but they perceive with their SI or NI first.
The only good thing about the system is the functions.
Mm-hmm.
So, learn the functions and you're good, but...
Yeah, I feel like everyone out there who's, like, watching this right now who doesn't know the functions is, like, so confused. Because, like, what? IPs? Wait, aren't they Ps, though? No,
they are Ps.
There should be...
And I'm just gonna say real quick...
There should be 2 other letters or something.
That IPs and EJs have a lot in common, too. Like, we're kind of going full circle. We've said that EJs and EPs have things in common. EPs and IPs, but IPs and EJs are both judgers first, so they're gonna seem, like, kind of know-it-all-ish. Like, both of them.
That's how I've learned to type I versus E. I'm like, they're so know-it-all-ish, they must be IP.
Yeah, and I think, especially, like, I don't know about ISPs and ESJs, but I feel like I really relate as an ENJ to other INPs. They're my favorite people. But I think it's because, like, all of us we have ox intuition, so it's like, literally all of our beliefs are hanging by a thread at all times, but we're so stubborn, but we're hanging by a thread of intuition, and that's really, really scary.
Mm-hmm.
And
I feel like I relate a lot to INJs because, like, we're all you see is, like, intuition. Like, all of it, this is, like, intuitively, like, a possibility, but, like, we're just, like, so scared of the sensory world because it's our 4th and our 8th function. And it's, like, comforting because it's, like, my NE can pair nicely with how the NI sees the world. And, like, I don't know, it's really nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And there's just so many connections that you can make between all these types.
Yeah!
So I already said, okay, IPs are the most, what did I say? IPs are the most selfish. EJs are the most, like...
Go-getter?
Well, yeah, I'm trying to say, like, something mean. Okay, EPs are the most flighty.
Mm-hmm.
What about IJs?
Are the most scared. Yeah. Maybe scared. EJs are the most bossy.
Yeah, I'm pushy. I'm trying to, like, pick on IJs. What's wrong with them?
They don't do anything. It's almost Valentine's Day, okay? I've had so many just, like, sad encounters with IJ boys. I'm just like...
IJs are lurkers. God. They go to the coffee shop and they watch people and they do their own thing.
Yeah, they're so interesting once you get them talking, but man, they're not gonna straight up tell you what they think, and it's so annoying. I'm just like, oh my god, please. It's like, IJs aren't... I wouldn't call them lazy necessarily, but man, like, you guys do not assert yourselves enough, or if you do, you're like, hey, this is sound comfortable, which... Like, I don't know.
There's like, yeah, because sometimes people don't understand you because IFJs aren't able to give the TE that's needed, and like, but yeah,
same with
IGJs.
But I mean, I love you guys, so
we have a lot of love here, but we also have a lot of hate.
Yeah, I mean, I have like friends of every type, and
I have
like
such a love-hate relationship with INPs.
Yeah,
if you guys can get over yourselves.
INJs, I like forgot that I have a love-hate relationship until I started interacting with them more again. I'm like, oh wait, it's only
like,
perfect
if you guys
in
would talk, it'd
theory.
be great.
Yeah, with INJs, I'm like, if you like showed up enough for me to talk to you, then I'd be having a grand old time. Like, holy shit.
INPs, it's like, if you lived on this earth with me, we'd have a fun time.
Yeah.
But too bad you don't live on this earth.
I know you live on this earth, but you're so hard to find. Like, I'm like, can I hang out with you? It's been like like a month. Yeah, let me check my schedule. Talk to me for 2 more weeks. I'm just like, wait, do you like me at all as a person? This is not even like romantically. This is like friends that are INFJs.
It's like really easy to just be like, Crystal, do you want to hang out? Yeah, sure. But I like plan, but my plan is to hang out with everyone all the time.
Yeah. But yeah, as someone who has troubles with INJs, please, if you're watching this as an INJ, like, for the sake of your counterparts, just put yourself out there more, because some ENP might be trying to, be
hit it.
or trying to hit it, yes, because whatever. Yeah.
I hope you guys can hear, like, that the party scene is about to start upstairs, and they have some really
we're
sick
still in college.
beats.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're about to go.
This
like
IxxJ tried to get with me a few weeks ago. I'm just like, well, I kind of tried-ish. And, like, I don't know. Like, I just should act more, because most of the time, it does work out in your favor.
EP should act more.
Yeah.
EP should let the IJs know that you want to act.
We're always acting in the external world in some way because we're literally there.
Okay, now here's the
direct
problem.
actions are different.
I think that EJs and IPs really like each other. That's like a romantic match. And then like EPs and IJs. Here's my problem. EJs are like, hey, I love you. And IPs are like, wait, what? Did that happen? What?
Yep.
But you're like, hee, I'm like around until the IJs will want to act, right? And then they're like, wait, I don't know.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, isn't she always around? What? Alright.
Anyways, any last words?
No, IJs, just do something, please. Please.
She's trying to hit it with an IJ.
Well, multiple IJs. Shh. But, like, actually, though,
EPs, just please make yourselves clear.